retreat in New York, if you all recall. Due to COVID again, we are now moving towards holding our retreat on Zoom. Plans are ongoing. Once the date is finalized, this will be posted on every one of our platforms. Number 3, the Take It Back USA website is under construction. Again, once it's ready, we would update everyone. This would help our membership drive as well as our active participations on social medias. Number 4, we are planning to support the October 1st Independence Day protest in Nigeria. The USA executives met and concluded to support the protest with about 200,000 naira, which will be funded solely by the USA executives. The USA executive is also supporting planned protest in New York on October 1st of this year. We will be printing out T-shirts as well as banners. Number 7, let's see, we also have a plan to host a Independence Day protest, a Zoom Independence Day protest and dialogue sessions. These will be announced within the next few days because October 1st falls on a weekday. The plan is to host the Zoom deliberation and protest the weekend before October 1st. So this plan will be announced, dates and modalities will be announced on our platforms. So these are some of the things that we've been working on. We will make sure that all members are carried along, and we would make sure that everyone is engaged. Thank you so much, and once again, I wish us a successful deliberation.
Thank you, my secretary. I think there's a protocol that we missed out, and if everyone will permit me to at least have members here introduce themselves, or you can write your name on the chat and tell us your location and where you're from. We'll really appreciate that. And also to add to what our SecGen has said, work has been ongoing behind the scenes. So there's been establishment of certain things, different departments. All is geared towards moving our movement to accomplishing the goals that has been identified, the visions and goals that has been identified by our convener, founding members of this great organization. And all of that is in place. And like the secretary said, in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to release that to the organization as well. Thank you. So if we can please, thank you, comrades. So comrades are announcing themselves on the chat. We'll leave the floor open. If you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself if you prefer to do it that way. Or if you do prefer to just write on the chat, is welcome as well. And currently we have about 42 members here right now. So the floor is open. Thank you.
Mr. Kaba.
Yes.
I think it will be preferable that when they want to ask a question, they should ask, and they should tell us their name and location instead of taking that time for everyone to introduce him or herself. So I think it will be better once they ask a question,
okay,
tell us their name and their location, and that's so that we don't waste much time on the today So let's move to the next agenda. And the next agenda is up to you to tell us, Mr.
Okay, thank you. So currently I see a lot of members are introducing themselves through the chat. That's
Okay,
extremely
good.
welcome. So our next agenda is we're going to invite Ms. Williams to quickly introduce our convener so we can start the business of the day, which is updates on what's going on from the convener's perspective. Thank you. Ms. Williams, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I welcome you all to this important and interesting meeting. As you all are aware that TIB USA is a very formidable group in the movement. And so it's pertinent on us to intimate our members about all our events, all our activities in the past years. So part of it is what we are doing today. So we decided to invite to our midst our convener, Comrade Omoyele SOWORE. It doesn't need much of introduction, but for the benefit of those that are meeting him for the first time, he's our convener, the convener of the Take It Back movement worldwide, and also is our flag bearer for the African, our party, the African Action Congress, and he has been at the forefront of fighting for the rights, the human rights of Nigerians, of people in general. And he has been doing this ever since he's been in the university at University of Lagos. And we want to, thank him for all that he has been doing. And we as his lieutenant too, we will help him to carry the vision of liberating Nigeria and Nigerians in general. And we will continue to pursue this goal relentlessly through God and through our strength. So I want to welcome everybody again to this meeting. Like the moderator has said, let us, abide with the rules of engagement so that we'll be able to maximize the time that we are here today. I welcome you all and God bless.
Thank you. So our honorable convener, we have you on the floor. So your time is now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, moderator. I thank you, director of TIB USA, and all our great members and those who have taken out the time today to attend this meeting. This is almost the fourth meeting we've had this year, COVID or no COVID, to keep ourselves abreast of happening intercontinentally regarding activities of TIB globally, including political events at home and abroad. And I'm very excited to be in your midst again. And I'm excited because we have been able to make some great progress in the course of having these conversations, exchanging views and ideas that have now made us to become a very powerful I won't say opposition group in Nigeria, but of course we are opposed to the status quo, but a very powerful movement that we've always wanted to be. Despite a major global pandemic that has rendered even some powerful movements or groups across the world powerless, you have kept the ball rolling regarding TIB USA and TIB Global as well. So I want to thank you so much. I am speaking directly from my place of detention in Abuja. When I say detention, I have, so many of you thought that after I was released December 24th, 2019, that I had become completely free. No, I'm now under city arrest, and this is my house in Abuja. Is practically completely surrounded, with monitoring, attempts at infiltration. They follow me everywhere. since I was released. But that is not the reason why we are here today. We are here to intervene concretely, as we have always done, in the affairs of nation. I've stopped using the word nation to describe Nigeria. I describe Nigeria as a country, because it really never quite became a nation. So it would be wrong to call Nigeria a nation, because nations, there are conditions that a country must fulfill to become a nation. Unfortunately, Nigeria never fulfilled those conditions. And the reason is simple, is because we've continued to be beguiled with terrible leadership across board, from the federal to states and the local government levels, from religious, traditional, and cultural levels. This country is suffering. And what we decided to do when we started TIB, USA in particular, was to do everything we can to confront this system of oppression, corruption, and incompetence, of tyranny at home with all our might, as we've always done whenever Nigeria is adrift precariously, as we have today. So where we are today is that even though we are constrained in a lot of ways, we are mobilizing people across the globe, Nigerians across the globe, to take on the system and make sure that the system is rendered powerless and such that our people can enjoy real freedom. Since we started this few months ago, we have been joined by a lot of people. A lot of people have joined us, and just as I'm having a conversation with you today, I've had conversations with several layers of Nigerian society, students, women groups. We've also had conversations with diaspora groups in the UK. I recently had with Australia. We had Canada and several other places. We also did have a Zoom protest, I think about 2 weeks ago. This same Zoom was a platform that we use creatively to get Nigerians to protest against the situation at home. That protest was attended by over 500 people, but by the next day, because it was live streamed on Sahara Reporters platform, by the next day, it had reached over 500,000 people. That is 24 hours later. And this is the power of the movement you all have created since 2018, when we began this journey with Take It Back, subsequently creating a party known as the African Action Congress. And what we resolved, or the questions that was asked last time, which we shouldn't shy away from, was that a lot of TIB members had concerns about the transition from TIB to Revolution Now, which is now our battle cry in Nigeria. And I thought and I felt that we answered quite well and had an exchange about it. So because of that, you took great decisions, including this decision to support the movement for, the Revolution Now protests that are coming with some support. We thank you very, very much for that. I also want to thank the progress, thank the leadership of TIB USA for the progress being made regarding setting up a website. I would encourage us to hasten that, because a lot of people have been reaching out to us from the USA that they want to join TIB, and they are looking for a digital platform to connect. While at it also, I would encourage you to also, if you can, set up a USA TIB app so that everybody can get the app on their devices and join TIB there, download the app, and enjoy what information that comes from the members. Because these days, not a lot of us have time to go on websites to go and check information, and we'll then figure out how to develop USA TIB, in a manner that would have benefits for members. It's not just about politics alone. I think, as I mentioned the last time, you can grow TIB USA into a gigantic organization that takes care of a variety of things, including money transfers, including, organizing. Yes, I'm just giving one instance that if you build the organization very well, in the same way Palestinians built themselves into formidable organizations abroad, you saw what the Somali people did, you've seen what Italians are doing. Every major group across the world that found themselves in the USA have had very powerful organizations like this. And we are lucky. We're lucky that TIB is the first of its kind when it comes to a formidable organization that has Nigerians across board. TIB doesn't have any ethnic agenda. It's not a religious organization. It's the first time that I know, yes, that has the global reach that we have. I don't know of any Nigerian organization, not even NIDO, the Nigerians in Diaspora organization that was created and funded by the federal government of Nigeria, has got this kind of hold, respect, integrity, and dignity that TIB Global has got. Yes. So it is an organic group that came from the ground, and we should continue to build it to last way beyond our current predicaments and problems, to also become even a formidable political organization in the US, because we have to be getting involved in US politics too. If we don't, other people will do it for us. So let's quickly build this organization into a very, very formidable group. So I encourage us to quickly have the website available. If we can get a Take It Back app available, and let's, you have designed, have conventions that can take care of, organizing this into a more robust, well-organized, well-structured organization. So the task at hand, as I've mentioned, is to fight the battle at home. And we are doing a very fantastic job at organizing around it. And we are happy that you have agreed to support us. And we are happy that there's an opportunity for you as well to join the battle in New York. I also would announce that there's another group that is organizing in DC, but they are not necessarily part of TIB. But we know that the fellow who is organizing DC is a member of AAC, but I don't think he's registered. It's registered as a TIB, so it shouldn't be a problem. We have also been we've been told that there could be protests in Dallas or Houston, but we don't know who wants to undertake that yet. But this is, in a nutshell, what we have planned. So on October 1st, we will start direct action here in Nigeria. There's also a plan to do some online activities for people who may not be opportune to come on offline. So online actions will be happening, and we're happy that you are doing also an online and offline action. And we'll be happy to also join you, since we have about 6 hours of time differences. If we are still physically free from harassment or arrest, we will be glad to join you and compare notes with you regarding what happens on that day. But before October 1st, there is going to be another Zoom Zoom conference versus protest, September 26th. I think it's going to be 4 p.m. Nigerian time, pretty early your time. I think that's 11 a.m. USA. If you can join, that would be great. The Zoom information will soon be available. Or I think it's already available. I think by today, over 500 people have registered to join that protest. And we would be glad if you can join us. That's September 26th, 2020. That will be the pre-October 1 Zoom, action for that day. So that's where we are. With regards to support, one suggestion I might have is that apart from the general TIB support that was promised, which we appreciate, if you can do what we did during the election, if there's TIB groups in different states of the US who want to support states that are engaging in protests, to get them banners, t-shirts, face caps or berets, or buy them water for that day. If there are, I'm not saying it's compulsory, we can also extend support to states that are active. For example, we have a lot of states that have signed up to partake, cities that have signed up to partake in the protest in October 1. Whatever we can do to help them, either as a group or individually, that will also be welcome. Our only advice is that if you are supporting anyone or they're reaching out to you, make sure you let the central know who you are supporting so that you don't fall into hands of scammers or people who might be not very transparent. So I don't know if I have any. Somebody said they can't hear what I'm saying. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right. So I don't know if there's anything else that I have not covered, but I think in a nutshell, that's where we are here on the ground. And if there are questions, of course, in areas that I've not covered, we can do it by way of Q&A. Thank you so much for the opportunity once again, and thank you so much for the work that you're doing. I am very, very proud of what TIB is doing globally, and I'm proud of the kind of organizing and structure that you all have put in place that have survived a lot of onslaughts in the last few months. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Convener. I just want to remind us real quick, I know a lot of members joined recently. If you just joined, if you can just introduce yourself on the chat section, just your name, where you're coming from, and if you can add a phone number as well, we'll appreciate that, because moving forward, we intend to carry everyone along and be active in the programs and activities that we have planned, and also welcome suggestions. So at this point, I think it's Q&A session. This session is for everyone to ask questions. The rules is that you have 1 minute to ask your questions. If it's just an observation, you just have 2 minutes, and we'll take maximum of 5 questions at a time. And that question can be directed to our convener or even the USA team as well. So if you're not speaking, I will encourage us all to mute ourselves. If you want to ask questions, you can also raise your hand, and we'll appreciate that. So far, 2 hands have been raised. There's Mohammed Saidu and Mr. Whaley. So we'll start with those. And then there's Temi. Temi is also, and we have number 4 now, Darkball. So we'll take, and 5, Alex, okay. So we'll take those 5 questions first, and then we'll go to the next. So over to you, Mr. Mohammed, you have the floor with your question. And don't forget, if you just arrived, please introduce your name on the chat section, name, where you're from, and phone number. Thank you. Mohammed, you have the floor. You can unmute yourself and speak. Mohammed, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, based on today's discussion, I think it's abundantly clear that as a nation, we are in a deep mess, and the country needs a total overhauling, because right now, hello, am I there?
We're hearing you. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Yes. Right now, in Niger State, we are big burning with the issue of insecurity and other social vices that is affecting us as a nation. Virtually about 6 to 7 local governments is being attacked by bandits, and the police and the other security agencies have been overwhelmed with this situation. And the country or the president of Nigeria refused to act as a senior citizen or the person that is in charge of the country. Now, what is left for the ordinary Nigerian is to protect themselves. The security is in the hands of ordinary citizens. Right now, the street and I, we have to contribute to the local vigilante to protect us. No single police you can find in 10 kilometers road in the street of Mina and environs, due to the overwhelmment of the security and other challenges that we are facing. The issue of revolution, I think it's come a bit late, but better late than never. Now is the time to challenge the system and to make sure that the system do the right thing. The president by the person of the president, which is what I was showing this afternoon, it assures that they are getting the Nigerians. Because on their press statements, they are telling us that what PDP cannot do in increasing the fuel or removing the subsidy, they were able to do it. That means they are jeering us as a nation and putting fingers at us that we can't breathe or we can't even back. That is why the
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed.
APC government are taking us for a ride. I urge members of this group to take a crusade of revolution now to control the market so that people will realize that the country is in a deep mess. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next question, observation is from Mr. Whaley. If you can please go ahead, you have the floor.
Yeah, you are welcome, our convener. Again, my name is Robert Oyele from the state of Texas, and I would like to welcome you again. My question is in regards to the global TIB. We have TIB USA, we have TIB Canada, we have in other various parts of the world. For us to be able, because there is power in number, and in those numbers must be well coordinated. As I know, we have to build a structure, which we are doing. USA just tell us what they were doing. I would like to find out from our convener, what is because at the beginning of this whole event of Take It Back, it was started with a group of leaders that are the global leader. Since then, we have challenges, but I know there are some group of people that are putting the structure together. Is our convener aware of this group, or what are the initial leadership of this movement is doing to have a global center that will coordinate events? Because this is not a thing you can do all by yourself. With revolution now, Take It Back, you are wearing 10,000 caps. We need more 10,000 foot soldiers to work with you that can be directed from what I would call like a war room. To fight this battle, it's not a battle that is gonna be as easy as we look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll go to our next question, which is from, give me a second. I'm jumping all over the place. So next question is from Temi. Temi, you have the floor, please. Unmute yourself and then speak.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you may be. My name is Temi Tokwe Achegbere from New York. I just really want to commend efforts of everyone on this platform, especially the former aspirant, presidential aspirant, comrade, activist, Omoyele Sowore. We commend you so much, and we appreciate your efforts in what you're doing and putting your life in line to make sure things are actually going, or you're striving towards a change. We commend you, and we strongly support you, and we have your back, and we want you to know that you're not alone. And thank you, and we appreciate your fight for freedom, your fight for justice, and thank you, and God bless you.
Okay. So there's actually no question, observation. Okay. Dark Boy, you're next, please.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, my name is Dakwala Gbaju. I'm based here in Boston, and I mean, I've been following Mr. Sowore during the election and all the things he did in Nigeria. I'm a big follower of him, and I see everything that is going on in Nigeria with what he's trying to do. This is what I have to say. I have to commend him for the sacrifice, but for all these things not to be in vain, I'm a big proponent of structure, just like the second person I've said. You know, what is going on in Nigeria has been going on for a long time. And if we have to pick our battles, we have to pick it in a strategical way. What Mr. Sowore has done and is still doing is commendable. But for us to defeat these people, diaspora has a huge proponent to making this thing successful. I think I don't know of any TIB location here in Boston, you understand? And maybe having a conference every year, or also just like he was saying initially about putting things in place, structure for people that are here, things that they need and things like that. I think that will go a long way. You know, I think it's high time we put Africa and take care of Africa, take care of ourselves. And one other thing too that I'd like to add is that after all this thing is over, how are we going to restructure Nigeria? Because we have to be very careful about that too. Because we don't want every one of us to fight for all these things, just like how Mr. Sowore is doing. And then one crazy ass person, excuse my language, comes in and take over again. So I think we should also think about the outcome when all this thing is all said and done. How do we want to actually achieve that? You know, so I think that's my own point. And, you know, so that is what I have to add. I mean, I commend you guys all, honestly. I can do what you guys are doing. I can leave my family and go to Nigeria. I'll be honest. But I got to give it to Mr. Sowore, honestly speaking. You know, but we have to fight this guy strategically. You know, that's my own thing. Total support of the second guy that spoke. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. We appreciate
Mr. Akaba, let me just say one thing before you proceed. Mr. Dapo, thank you. We have our coordinator on the floor too for Boston.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll put my email on the chat, and you know, we need more heads. We need more strategy. You know, it's very important. These people don't have strategy. We use our head here.
Okay,
they don't.
Thank you.
So let's use that to defeat them.
Dr. Please, as you add your email, if you can add a phone number as well so we can reach out appropriately. Thank you.
I'll do that right now.
Take one more question and we'll go to our convener. The next question will be from Mr. Alex Okeke. You have the floor. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Alex Okeke. I'm here in Washington, Baltimore area. My question are in two only two questions, very short questions. One of them is, and I'm directing it to SOWORE. One is, SOWORE, I would like to know your stand in this structuring the Nigerian as a whole. And secondly, the second question is, there has been a lot of killings going on in Southeast. And what is your stand on those killings? Have you made any public statements on that? These are my two questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alex. We'll yield the floor. Please, if you're not speaking, mute yourself so our convener can respond to these 5 questions, including observation. Thank you. Convener, you have the floor.
Thank you. I probably want to start with the last person because I don't want to forget. He's also my friend, Alex KK is my good friend. I'm surprised that he doesn't follow me on Twitter, but I guess you should. When it came to the killings of IPOB members in Enugu, I believe that's what we are asking about. I did send out a tweet. Immediately happened that condemning the killings and asking for those people who were involved to be brought to book. Because the lie the federal government told when they went to that killing spree in Enugu was that 2 DSS officers were killed. Till today, they have not been able to present the names and the ranks of the DSS persons that were killed. We have never seen them announce their burial. It was a lie so as to justify the killings of our airport brothers in that part of the world. With regards to the Nigerian structure, my position has been publicly, consistently canvassed that when you talk about structure, you can't talk about structure without a foundation. And what is a foundation for any subsisting structure in any society to be acceptable is the constitution of that society, of that country. Nigeria doesn't have a constitution today that is legitimate. The constitution we have was imposed upon us by the military. In fact, the constitution before then was also somehow imposed by the military. So it now behoves on the people to decide on which constitution will guide the structures of their country, particularly Nigeria. And until we get there, until there's a coming together of all these people, the Nigerian people, so to speak, or people of the Nigerian country, we cannot have structures based on what some old people believe will be best. What is the biggest thing that they're canvassing in Nigeria today? A 1963 structure of regionalism, which means that we will abolish all the states and go back to 6 structures, 6 geopolitical structures, and that will be manned under a parliamentary system. I'm saying no matter how beautiful these things sound, people can't just sit down there and take decisions on behalf of 200 million people without their input. So that was the reason, that was one of the bases for our Spicer hit. Restructuring was part of it, but restructuring would mean that everybody who is a component of our country is a participant in making of the constitution that determines the structure and nature of the Nigerian nation, because then we'll be talking about a nation. Right now, we're a country. There are 2 others who spoke extensively about our structure. They spoke about the structure of TIB, especially globally. This has always been my position, that more and more people come on board to help design, put in place a very strong structure for TIB globally. But we are also people who talk about restructuring a lot, right? In the sense that we are all different diaspora groups. So the character and nature of US TIB might be different from that of Australia or the United Kingdom. As a result, we also have to be careful not to over micromanage how the structures in these enclaves or geopolitical geocontinental bodies would be. As a result, we let them determine their structures, their constitutions, and then we'll come together globally and see how we can manage a global center. Mr. Akinyele, I'm sorry, Owoyele, I apologize, mentioned that there are people working on the side to make sure that the global structure is put together appropriately. I cannot say that I have to talk to you to find out who you are talking about, but I know you and I have been discussing how to make things gel together, and that there's been some little setbacks here and there. So maybe I will have to do this offline with you so that you can tell me what you are referring to. I don't want to just jump into a conclusion and speak to a general group like this when we have our own channel for discussing global TIB matters. So also don't forget that TIB is not only based in the diaspora. There's TIB in Nigeria. Now we also have a student wing of TIB that has also been very, very effective on the ground and is powering the protest movement that we have ongoing in the country today. So all of these structures are in existence, but I agree completely that we must bring them under a global concern management. But again, I don't think that this meeting as it stands today is the appropriate place to discuss the fine details of what we have been doing on the ground. If I may be permitted, maybe we should discuss that later, because what I found out about the meeting we're having now is has over 77 people in attendance. Some of them are saying to us that this is the first time they're attending meetings, and some of them are not even TIB members, but they're just very interested because they want to observe how things are going on. Hopefully, so many of them will join our group after listening to us today. Mohammed spoke passionately about what's happening in the north, especially Niger State. There is nothing to add. This is the reason we are calling for a complete overhaul of this country. There is a sense that Nigeria has no leadership at this time. And it is obvious from the way the country is being governed and how very important sectors of society is being handled. Right now, people are just reeling under, an economic meltdown that is. The Nigerian leadership decides to impose more hardship on the people. The interesting thing about those of you in the diaspora is that, listen, anytime there are increases in the prices of food, transportation, and all kinds of things at home, fuel, gasoline as we call it in the US, your bottom line is going to be hit as well, because your relatives are going to reach out to you to ask for more support than they used to ask for, because things are hard at home. And I don't know how you guys are coping these days, but I'm aware that things are really hard for Nigerians. You see, as things are today, 1,000 naira for a family in a day is a big deal to some families. 1,000 naira. It's a big deal to families because people have reached that point. They've decided the bottom has fallen off for a lot of our people. And what we are doing here is not to try to do charity, which we cannot cope with, but try to save the country from complete demise from the surface of humankind. So that's what we are doing here. Part of our demand in our Revolution Now protest has something to do directly with security. It has something to do with minimum wage. It has something to do with the Constitution. We even have a demand recently updated to include that we are wasting too much money and energy on a bicameral legislative system, and we should drop the Senate or the House of Reps, whichever one we want to drop is up to the people. But while all of this is going on, the leaders in Nigeria are living large. You guys must have read about the Attorney General who had 5 jets at his son's wedding during COVID-19. Buhari's daughter just had a lavish wedding. The shopping was done in Dubai. After that, the wife has gone to London again. There's the NDDC, people are stealing money as if there's no tomorrow. The central bank is engaging recklessly and mindlessly in currency scams. They have 2 different rates for dollars in this country. If you know the central bank governor, you can go and buy dollars and go and sell at the unofficial rate. You will become a millionaire overnight. So there's no point repeating so many of the things that are wrong with our country, Nigeria, today to you, because as we all know, things are falling apart. So that would be my response to some of the questions. I don't know if I missed out any of the questions. Val, you can quickly remind me so I can tackle it before you take the next set of questions.
I think, Convener, you covered all the question. The other one was just basically an observation, and there was no need to address that. The next, we'll take the next few questions, and we're going to start from Chris. And then after Chris, we'll go to Deji, TB, and then we'll go to Dr. Friday George. We'll take it in that order. So let's start with Chris. Chris, you have the floor, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, I'm Chris I'm speaking from Germany, so I'm based in Germany. So what SOWORE is doing, so they are revolutionary now, because I see it as a big challenge for me to everyone based in Nigeria and all around the world, because since I was born to the age I am now, nobody has ever stand up from Nigeria and say, yes, this government has failed us. We have to fight for ourselves. We have to do this. We just leave this. They embezzle the money. They move from one country to another. But thank God that SOWORE stand up. Yes, this cannot continue in this generation. So because for me, I see that as a big challenge to everyone, no matter where you are participating. So for us to support this man, because the mission is started, only cannot accomplish the mission without you and I. So we are not expecting to be the one broadcasting everything, and at the same time be the one doing mobilizing everyone to join the platform. So it's a platform whereby, for me, I'm a Germany, so I met F.A. William, he commented that he's from Germany. I had him on Facebook, so because I believe he make a good step. So I believe through him, we can still organize ourselves in Germany and stand the support at the movement of revolution now. So those are my point, that as in, I don't know how I'm going to put it. It's just that it's something that everyone must be participated, everyone must be joined, because even in the abroad, you are not safe. In your country, you are not safe. There is nowhere in the world where you are safe, whereby if we said that we will not talk, but as in the life that we are living in Europe or in other country, in Asian country, we are comfortable, it's a lie. There is no freedom until we do this. No matter what it is, no matter any platform that we are able, we can broadcast this revolutionary now in Nigeria. For me, I'm going to do it. So as far as at least we have a comparison, but compared to what it was said, that there is what we call TBI, so a platform whereby we can be broadcasting, whereby we can be doing all sorts of this. So I'm praying that every one of us will join hands together to do this, to make everything work out for the people of Nigeria, for we ourselves, because I believe one day everyone must die, but what are we going to say after the death? Who is going to say after you? So those are my major points, that I appreciate everyone being on the platform. So it's my great honor to be here today. So because it has been long, I've been missing the meeting. So when I come to Miami, I meet a lot of chatting. I cannot meet up with the chatting. Greetings to everyone.
Thank you, Chris, for your observation. We appreciate it. The next person is Dimeji Ayawale. Go ahead, Dimeji, with your questions, observations.
Back.
Back.
This guy don't come
Honorable
again.
Town Crier.
We can wake you up now.
Town
You guys,
crier.
even the convener, they still make you wake. G, Masun. Anyway, thank you guys for
Oshe, Omomi, Oshe.
thank you guys for this wonderful session. I think as the official town crier of this TIB organization movement, I've been attacked and been asked so many questions, like as if I'm actually the convener. One of the most critical questions that I do run into every time, I mean, most of current is that SOWORE is shouting for revolution now, and also people are pushing him for the presidency for 2023. That is a great contradiction that we should try and define what we want to achieve. You know, we can't say we want to change the system and also be part of the system at the same time, meaning that we want to contest for the presidency, which we still sustain the current system. So that's what I do get from people all the time. And you know, the second one was about the honor of evil, but I always stuck with that one confidently. So I think that's what I just need a clarification about in terms of trying to express to our followers what we're trying to achieve and how we want to achieve it. So that's just my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dimeji. So the next person in line of question is actually TB Uluwe. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly.
Yes, sir. You almost got it correctly. Okay. My name is TBO. That's more like my stage name. I'm a producer and currently in Little Rock, Arkansas. And interestingly enough, I made one of the main campaign songs for the campaign in 2019. That's the Take It Back for Good, though. That was me. I made that, and free of charge. I mean, just because of my passion for the message that the platform, the Take It Back platform, brought on board at that time. And so for me, I have a few observations, or shall I say, I'm not sure if I could call them questions, because maybe comments in general. For me, first and foremost, I have to really commend Mr. SOWORE for, you know, the trailblazing initiative that has been platformed through him, and everybody else that has made the Take It Back movement what it is today. The selflessness and the time you put into it is probably the only reason, personally on my own part, I've given up on Nigeria, to be honest with you. And I gave up on Nigeria not because I wanted to. I mean, like I said, when Mr. SOWORE campaigned in 2019, I read through all the things, the manifesto, and I saw the genuineness. I saw the fact that it was a campaign that was people driven, people oriented, and I felt like that was the direction we should go. But I was let down, not just because it didn't win, but by how the vast majority of Nigerians rejected their only opportunity to actually turn things around. And so the only glimmer of hope that I have left now is actually that there are still a few people like Mr. SOWORE that actually believe that things can actually turn around. Personally, the Nigerian population, the Nigerian citizenry for me have been a major letdown, because you cannot, if someone doesn't believe they're in bondage, how do you unshackle them? So most people don't even know they're in bondage. They don't know that not having uninterrupted power supply is a mirage to them. They don't believe it's actually possible. They don't believe good roads are possible. They don't believe they can earn decent living through, wages that are fair and dignified. They don't know all this. So I just feel like if there is a way to sensitize people enough to wake them up, or if there are ways we can, maybe from diaspora, channel all this energy to awaken people's, from slumber, so that even I see people online.
This round up, your time is almost up.
Oh, okay, sir. I'm sorry. I mean, so I'm just finally I'm more particular about how we're going to just drive home people's sensitization to wake them up and make this movement not just people who are already awakened, but get more people into the fold. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hi, you're welcome. So
this is Victoria. I just want to suggest that, we in the UK, we're planning on the 1st of October, going to the High Commission. Of course, we have law here that you have to be 4 people in a group. So what are you people planning in US, in Canada, and the rest of the Germany and the rest of the places? Are you guys going to occupy the High Commission in those countries? That's what I want to know, like we are hoping to do here. You get into the office, you stay there, you don't leave. You let Nigeria know, you let them know what is going on. So we need to be set free. You need to be totally he need to have his total freedom. And then, and then we talk about the things that are going wrong in Nigeria, which they are not putting in order. So occupying the High Commission in all other countries, I think it will bring, attention to these people.
okay, thank you, Victoria. I think we'll address that question. Our convener has said he's met with a whole lot of people, and I'm pretty sure, I think you can.
Sorry, I only just logged in about, yeah, sorry.
So that's why. We'll continue. So the next question is going to come from Dr. Friday. You have the next question, and after you, Dr. Gunji, and then we'll let our convener answer those questions. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I am Dr. Friday George from Frankfurt, Germany. I am the president of Tabernacle of Glory Church International, EV Germany. By the grace of God, I just joined the Take It Back group through my brother friend in Germany, Coco. And by the grace of God, I was able to speak with Dr. SOWORE yesterday that on the 1st of October in Frankfurt, Germany, we are going to have a revolution now. We are going to the High Commission of Nigerian Consulate in Frankfurt. We are making a protest. We have taken the permission from the police in Germany here and taking all the necessary documents that will enable us to take the process of the protest to the embassy. And we are told that the embassy is not opening on that day, but we are going there and we are campaigning seriously. And we have a lot of things in our agenda that we are going to be speaking about. One of those things, the injustice that is going on in Nigeria and the corruption and the way the people in Europe here are facing a lot of challenges from the government here in Germany and some other things that are going on in Nigeria also. So I'm so happy. I buy the idea. I love what Dr. SOWORE is doing. He's doing a great job. I know that Nigeria is in a state of political hegemony and is in a state of cumbersome. And when some people are trying to bring justice and some people are trying to sabotage, to be giving information to the federal government in order to sabotage the revolutionary movement. And I believe Dr. SOWORE has done a very good job. All we need is to give a good support. We can have a good country in Nigeria. Even most of us that are living in abroad here, it's not that maybe it's very sweet here living abroad, working, paying bills.
Friday, your time is up.
Yeah. So this is just my point I want to bring. We are taking the revolution on the 1st of October in Frankfurt here. And I thank you so much for joining the group. I have to obey the procedure of the group. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll take one last question from Dr. Gunjimi from Houston. Doctor, you have the floor. And if you're not speaking, if you can mute yourself, we'll appreciate it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to thank all members of TIB globally And also take this special opportunity to thank Mr. SOWORE for his sacrifice, for all that he is doing for the country, for our country, Nigeria. I pray to God Almighty that all these efforts will not be in vain. And I also pray to God Almighty that in my own lifetime, I'll be able to witness the fruits of his labor for good. Having said that, during listening to his statements, his opening statements, and during that statement, he mentioned the fact that he would also like, we, the TIB movement and stuff, to get involved in the political activities of wherever we belong, and USA being one of them. So my first question is this: what is the position of USATIB regarding the current election going on in the US? And then the second question is to the TIB body as a whole. What are we doing to support the SOWORE family for all these sacrifices that they are making on our behalf? Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll move on to our convener. Our honorable convener, you have the floor to take the questions that were asked. I know some of them were observations. And
yes, I see a lot of observations and commendations and advice. I thank you so much for that. I try to take notes. The first question that came to my face that I felt needs response is that of Dimeji, New York town crier. And it was a question about the contradiction between fighting for revolution now and 2023. And I think I've answered this question so many times, I can't even recall. And that is that whereas people are entitled to have ambitions, and I'm entitled to have ambitions beyond 2020, we must fight our way to the future. And what is at stake right now, and what is important right now, what is clear to me, is to fight for a better country. It's not to walk blindly into another election in which the results of the election have already been written. I think it was our brother TB Olowe, thank you so much for your contributions during the last election, who did say that he was disappointed at the low numbers of voters that voted for those of us who had the best ideas. My brother, I'm not saying that we would have won the election, but I'm telling you that there was no election in 2019. What they did is a packaging of their candidates to get back into office. It was rigged, it was manipulated, it was bastardized. It was the bastardization, it was the ultimate bastardization of democracy. What they did to us in 2019 was what led to the revolution in Mali that just ended. The same way they were treated, but for some reason, being who we are, Nigerians, we have this ability to accept rubbish. You know, it's like we are garbage dump as a people. There's nothing they have not dumped on us. And I'm sure our leaders are wondering if it's possible that we would react again ever in life. And our job and duty right now is to tell them that we're tired of being treated as slaves in our own country and that we need real independence. Because it looks to me that the 1960 independence Nigeria has got was a very wrong one. It wasn't the kind of independence that guaranteed us the kind of dignity as a people that we need. And for 60 years, we haven't been able to get it right. So we need new independence and new independent fighters. That is one. The other question relating to occupying embassies, very legit. So many people have asked, but that day is public holiday. Well, the question I ask them is this. I'm looking at all of you. Is there any day in a Nigerian embassy that is not public holiday? None, right? Because they barely do anything in these embassies. So whenever what we are doing is symbolic. If you go there, occupy the embassy as long as you can. Whether they're there or not, they will report back home. It's not even reporting back home. You are reporting your existence in front of the embassy. Because even if you went there on a Monday, they will still lock the gate against you anyways. So it's a symbolic action to show to the Nigerian government that Nigerians across the world globally are sick and tired of the government at home. That's what this October 1 is about. Dimeji was mentioning on Neo Fife. I don't know what he meant. Well, I think that's one of those barbershop conversations that he gets into with my friend, so I know him very well. He doesn't leave barbershop. But since he didn't tell me what it is, I'm not going to even go there. Another question was from Ogunjimi, was asking about the TIB position in the US. What I said about TIB taking a political position in the US is that when TIB is organized enough, it should be able to take a position in US elections. It's not a crime. There's nothing wrong with it. To say, look, as a bloc, the Nigerian community in the US wants to support this person. It doesn't mean that they must force everybody to support that particular person, but you support the candidate. You can even start presenting candidates for local elections. There are a lot of council elections in the US. Recently, I think Nigeria became the Minister of Justice in Canada, right, if I'm right. And when they asked him and the Nigerian government wanted to start congratulating him, he said something that shocked them forever and ever. They never congratulated him after that. He said, I hope one day, right, one day that hard work will pay in Nigeria. That's what he said. I forgot the guy's name. And the thing really sent shockwaves down the spines of the Nigerian government. They never greeted him after that because he knows that hard work doesn't pay in Nigeria. It's people who cut corners. You must be looking at it and saying, look at the Attorney General of Nigeria. Think about myself. The other guy on the Nigerian side of 200 million people is a dumb guy. And Canada, with about how many million people, can afford to allow a Nigerian who migrated to Canada to become their justice minister. But Nigeria can never allow a good lawyer to become justice minister in Nigeria. It's not possible. That's what he was saying. I think Dr. Ogunjimi also raised the issue about my family, whereas I find this very, very good that you raised that my family is enjoying the goodwill of the movement. This boy, Dimeji, just went to my house today to go visit my wife and kids and pick up some things for me. Whereas I really appreciate that. I don't want my family's burden to become the burden of everybody. Everybody right now has a family burden. And I would rather that we do the family thing on a family level so that it doesn't become a TIB issue. I'm also very sensitive towards, and I'm saying this publicly, I'm sensitive towards, putting my family or myself as, a symbol of support, because I don't want anybody to go after them, that, oh, I'm the one feeding SOWORE's family, which people can do at any time because I'm a person who likes to offend a lot. I don't want to let anything hold me back. So I generally don't encourage, a general organizational support for my family. Good enough. My wife is working very hard. But I appreciate that. I just want to tell you that I appreciate that. But I don't want it to become a TIB policy to help. Maybe when we become very well structured, we can have a fund to support anybody. It's not even me alone at this time, but anybody that might get trouble. It might also be that somebody is sick. It might be somebody dies and we have a fund that can give support for them, anything. So, but we're dependent on the big structure that we put in place that can take care of all this. It was said in our last meeting that if you want to support me, get me a Yoruba teacher, my kids, because they are spoiled. They don't understand the word of Yoruba. So, and it's a shame that I didn't teach them Yoruba. I never had time for that, which I shouldn't be saying publicly. That's it. But I thank you so much, Dr. Ogunjimi, for that. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for this last set of questions. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. So probably we'll take, there's a lot of hands up, and we have 32 minutes to go.
In addendum to what the conveners had just said about involvement of the USA in the election of this great country, our position is this: we have to, the executive is discussing on how we get involved in USA election.
Get closer to your phone.
Get closer to your phone. We're not.
Yeah, okay. We must be very careful how to get into the election of the USA because this is a country of law and we are registered as a non-for-profit organization. I think we discussed this in our last executive meeting when there was a problem between New York coordinator and some people on our general platform. So we will soon get back to members, our positions on USA elections. It's not going to be a thing that we just rush into. We have to look at those laws that guide our existence as a movement in the USA before we put our legs and everything into it. So, Dr. Oguchi, I will ask you to be patient. We'll soon get to every one of you and the role we're going to play in the USA election. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying that we're going to take more questions than 5 because we had a lot more of observations. And if you just joined us, also add your name, phone number. The other thing we want to rate, we want everyone to come together in US. If you're not reaching out, reach out to us. If we don't have your contact, let us have it on this platform because we have a lot of activities and we want to ensure that everyone have their hands on deck as we go. So the next question is going to come from Sister Rhoda. I want to remind everyone, if you can keep your questions to 30 to 50 seconds, we'll appreciate it so we can get more people to ask questions before we quickly leave. Thank you. Comrade Rhoda, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. This is Rhoda Ackman. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. My question precisely will not be to the convener, but I think anybody can answer this question. For some reason, they formed a committee which involved USA coordinators. And these coordinators were called post-election committee. In the process of meeting as a post-election committee, that was when we found out that something was wrong somewhere with the global. And as a concerned citizen, we came together and put up a letter, a memo to the people involved. Up to this moment, we have not received any response from that. All we get is general meetings. And I don't think executive has been part of any decision so far, because from my information, I'm one of the coordinators from Columbus. And I will appreciate if Mr. Akaba, who was the chairman of the committee, can give Mr. SOWORE the copy of that memo. And Mr. SOWORE and the USA director can address the post-election committee or USA coordinators so that we can move forward. Whatever is the problem in Nigeria, we do not want such problem to repeat itself. We want to move forward in TRB, and we want stuff to be addressed accordingly. Someone like me, I'm not support anything, but as individual, it is not good to abandon a collective position. So I will appreciate if this can be addressed right here, and we can move forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you. So next person in line is Florence Ade. You have the floor.
Oh, thank you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm calling from the US. Um, I joined late. I got the notification late. Yeah, and actually, I'm an unofficial member of TIB. I'm an ardent supporter of Mr. Shawore and Take It Back movement. First, the closest to me is Dr. Chidi in Canada. I live in western part of New York, so I don't know if there's any group, any chapter close by. I would like to officially join. And then my question, or I should say second question, is there any TIB chapter in Netherlands? I have a friend over there who is interested in connecting with the movement. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, I want to quickly say there is a chapter in Netherlands and we have members in Netherlands. So please you can drop your information, email or phone number, we'll reach out to you and connect you. So thank you. The next question. The next question will be from Efe Williams. You can please go ahead and ask your question.
We also have a chapter in New York. So you drop your number, we'll add it to the New York group.
Okay, thank you, comrade. I'm actually in Buffalo area, so not New York City.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's New York State.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr.
All our fellow comrades who have been sleeping. A lot of you have been on our wall.
Somebody should mute. Somebody should mute. There's a noise in the background.
Guys, open my somewhere. Okay. Yeah. Greetings to all of you. It's so glad to see everybody and to know that some action is happening once more. Big ups to the biggest town crier in town, my fellow noisemaker and the Meji. Big ups to Dotun. All right, please let me just make my point. For somebody who asks what is happening in Canada, Canada is always holding it down strong, and this time around will not be different. So we are mobilizing to harass the government on the 1st of October. And if there's anybody who wants to join us, you're welcome to get in touch with me and we will do it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chidi. So Efe Williams, if you're there, if you can unmute yourself and ask your questions, please, you have the floor. Efe Williams, one more time, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Your question. We can hear.
Yeah, I don't really have a question. Okay, I don't really have a question. I just want to say thank you, everyone, and that's all. I didn't know when I even pressed that question. I don't have a question actually.
Okay.
I just want to commend everyone that's here today.
Thank you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So the next person will be Babatunde or Lakunle. If you're there, Babatunde, you have the floor. Mr. Babatunde, you can mute yourself.
Sorry, I forgot to greet Baba Dotun before they sacked me. Oh, sorry.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, hello, Babatunde.
Yes. I just want to ask that I would love someone to contact me regarding the plans for October 1 in the UK if the rally or protest will be holding on that day. And also, I've already left my number on the chat. I'm in Essex, UK, and it's really hard connecting with the Take It Back movement sometimes. If someone can just contact me after this program, I would love that. Also, I want to correct an impression which our leader has already corrected. He has said it time and time again that we are all in bondage. No one should come to start saying, "Oh, let us fight so that our leader can be free." He already said it, that we are all in bondage in Nigeria. Even those in Aso Rock, they're in bondage. So we need to come to that terms and stop playing and stop being too pitiful. Like, don't let us pity him. He doesn't even care. So let us continue to fight for our freedom. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that was an observation. We'll take the next, hold on a second, let me quickly. So we'll take the next question from, give me a second, from Adeleye Adewi. If you're there, you can go ahead, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi.
My name is Adeleye Adewi. I live in New York, in Queens. I'm very, very happy to be here. Actually, it's my first time, though I've been following the trend of the TIB movement, and I've always listened to Comrade SOWORE speaking. But that being said, I want to just make a quick observation that the majority of the problem we are facing in Nigeria is not only being caused by the elite, but by the ignorant. I don't want to use illiterate because depending on our definition. So I just want to suggest that as we are doing this among the elite or people living in Western world and some other part of Nigeria that are educated, we need to define a means to reach out to those in the rural area, because sincerely, many of us have never voted before. And those are the people that these people are using to always cheat on us and to always do whatever they want to do. If we can reach out to those people in rural area, let them understand what we stand for and the reason we need to change the present situation of Nigeria. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. We'll take one more question from Pato. Pato, you have the floor, please.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for
I
the.
just have a couple of questions for the convener. That's sure.
Sure.
I was. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
Yes. My first question is as regards the current issue with AAC in the courts in Nigeria. What exactly is the position? Has the case been adjourned? Even if it's been adjourned in the last court sitting, what did they actually say? My other question is as regards the elections in Edo State. There was a candidate from the AAC who was picked during the convention of the AAC in Benin City. Now, because now and again I want to put my ears to the ground as regards what's happening in Nigeria and the elections in those states, because I happen to be from that state. That's my state of origin. And I now kind of found somewhere online where I found where her name was actually excluded from the list of those who will participate in elections. And I went to one of the AAC Europe, Central Europe blog sites and kind of pasted the news there. And someone on that blog site for AAC got offended and came back to say, how did I get to know about it? How do you know she's been taken off? Of course, I'm not a D-Dom. I saw this somewhere that her name's been taken off and she's not there. Okay, fair enough. That went, I mean, probably she was just reacting. But what my concern was, after her name was taken off from that list, I discovered she was still going on to do fundraising when she was not on the list. And I was wondering, why do that? You are not on the list of those who have been accredited to participate in elections, which is quite unfortunate. Then why not get to solve that first before you go on and do anything like fundraising? I found that anyway. I found that kind of really disturbing. from my point of view. And also, I must commend the convener, because my very first time I met him was when he came over to the UK at the University of East London. I was quite impressed with what he said and his position as regards things in Nigeria, which actually resonated with me. And that basically made me to, participate, in Take It Back. So that's me done. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to our convener to respond to some of these questions. And we may have time to take just a few more blocks.
Sorry, if you don't mind, this is Victoria once again. I am particularly concerned about, occupying the High Commission, because when we go there, because I believe the High Commission in each country belongs to us. We are the Nigerians, and that place is our safety hole. Don't forget, we are doing this on behalf of our people who are suffering in Nigeria. These people live comfortable here in this country, while the ones in Nigeria are very comfortable as well. So by the time we enter the office, we do not live there. Even if we have to take the entire day, 2 days, this message will be sent to them back home to put things right. There are so many people on the street, no food to eat, no home. This is ridiculous.
So Victoria,
it really hurts.
Victoria, I think the coordinators of the particular group occupying can meet and deliberate on the course of action for that. But let's give our convener time to respond to these questions, and then we can move on. We have 15 minutes left.
Okay, I just want people to have this in mind. Going in the office, staying there, not leaving, because it's our home, it belongs to us. That is Nigeria in this country.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Do I have the floor now?
Yes, you do, sir.
Give that the half, please.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm seeing a lot of questions that are coming from other chapters that are not USA. So I think it's a good thing that USA attracts everybody from all over the world, because it's New York. I mean, it's US anyways. So to just answer Victoria quickly, there's a TIB USA, TIB UK planning that is going on as we speak for what they will do at the embassy. The reason why we cannot have a uniform action for all countries is that, for instance, Australia are having issues with even allowing people to come out because they're still in a lockdown. So each country has to customize their protest based on what the law says in those countries, and also their COVID protocols at this time. So I think the UK one, we answer to that. I promise to get in touch with you. You and I in touch, Question about the dual election and AAC cases. The lady in Edo won the primaries. It was attended by INEC. When it was time to submit her name, INEC connived with the impostors in our party with whom they share money not to submit her name. And I think the reason she's raising funds was that she's still in court trying to get her name on a ballot as we speak. I think the case comes up this week again. So if she gets her name on a ballot, of course, the court rules in her favor. She'll go into election directly. That's the reason she's raising funds. To the best of my knowledge, she never told me, but we're still in court fighting to get her on the ballot.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. The AAC cases, we have quite a few of them, including the Edo one I just mentioned, and they're all ongoing. Another case is coming up on September 29. Then we have a Court of Appeal case that has not been, that was not assigned a date until, well, they assigned a date and kept it from us. They went and bribed the appeal court registry to put the hearing of the date till next year.
Wow.
So that we won't be there, because they didn't file a reply. Typically, when you get an appeal served on you, you file a reply. They didn't file a reply on record. They went to the Court of Appeal registry, Leonard and his lawyers, and bribed the registry people to put it next year. So when we petitioned to the Court of Appeal people that how come we don't have a date, they now went and dug out the file from where it was hidden, and we found out that the dates they put on it for hearing was next year, which is unheard of considering that it's an electoral matter that should have been expeditiously had. So we have now filed, as of yesterday, a request to the courts to reverse that process and give us a faster date. As soon as we hear from that, we'll let you know. This is what we go through in Nigeria, and the reason why I don't like discussing elections, because the country, we had 2 meetings with INEC this last week, 2 meetings. We met with the person in charge of political parties. We met with the legal department of INEC. INEC is a criminal organization, ladies and gentlemen, criminal organization. As I'm speaking with you today, I just got information on my WhatsApp message that INEC has posted to Edo State the same guy that helped them to rig election in Kogi is going to Edo State. That's the person they posted to go and oversee Edo State election. So how are you going to have any elections? None, right? There's no way you can have elections that will be free and fair. So good luck to Edo people. Probably the only way Edo people can have free and fair election is if they have enough violence, and that is not democracy at all. I can guarantee you that. So the other questions, the memo to the TIB Global, I didn't see the memo, and I'll request for it to be sent to me so I can know how I will respond to that. And also, I think Florence was talking about connection to chapters abroad. It's the reason why I think USATIB and other chapters should have a website so that we can have a referral place in the website for people who might want to join elsewhere. Just like we have this Zoom today. A lot of people came from other countries. Perhaps the reason why they came to this was because they have never had a Zoom meeting in their own country chapters. And we must encourage that information is shared to them as much as possible. I think we will have more Zoom meetings before October 1 and subsequently after that to keep carrying people along. It's great that Zoom has become the new town hall place for us to be meeting and discussing matters that affects us in general. So on that note, I hope I answered the last 5 questions, Val, satisfactorily. So many of those questions, of course, are related to commendations, of course, which I appreciate. And I commend all of you also for your time and for coming and asking these pertinent questions. I want to also urge that somebody actually take the information on the charts, on the right side of the charts before they disappear. Our experience is that it's more difficult to go back and take them after you have closed the meeting. People forget, and so I want to encourage that somebody should take this information right away before the meeting is ended, so that you can have them handy and reach out to everybody who dropped their numbers and their email addresses. And I think at this point also, TIB USA should be considering newsletters. So you can drop all these email addresses and be sending newsletters about developments happening in the organization and worldwide as you know it. Thank you once again.
So, quick one. I want to say I already have all the chat contents. So that's taken care of. With regards to, I know there are more questions, so I'm just going to randomly pick 3. If we can have that pretty quick, we have 8 minutes, so we can do justice. So I have Dr. Chidi, I have Temitokbe Adegbalu, and let's see, Eda Ojo and Mr. Ashobon. If we can have those ask, your questions, if you can keep it short. If you can make it 20, 30-second question, it'll be nice. If we have time, we can throw 2 more to it. Thank you. So,
all right, mine is an observation and maybe if there's a counter clarification, I would like to hear it. You know, one of the challenges we've had with TIB all over is because of certain issues that we had to deal with in some months past. Some people think that TIB is no longer existing. Some people assume that there's new TIB with new WhatsApp groups. So they think they are not in those WhatsApp groups. And the clarification I wanted to make is that, especially for those in Canada, that the WhatsApp group that you've always been in is still the WhatsApp group that I know that is existing. So let's stop assuming that there is something somewhere going on that you don't belong to. And if I am wrong, I would just want a clarification, because that seems to be causing some confusion with people who were trying to reach me, just to let them know that as far as I'm concerned, we are still just existing in the original WhatsApp groups that were there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So, Temitope, I think you're next. Temitope Adegalu, if you can please unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. It's a privilege to be on this platform. My name is Temitope Adegalu, Midland, Texas, intending member of TIB. But I don't know if we have any chapter. You know, I know there's some chapter in Houston. Houston is about 8 hours away from me, you know. So I don't know if we have anyone closer to this West Texas. Maybe Dallas is a little bit closer, but precisely I'm in Midland. That's question number one. I'll try to drop my phone number if there's anyone close to us down here, West Texas. That would be so awesome. Question number two, and I'm assuming and I believe, because I so much believe in my leader, Omoyele Sowore, you know, that after all this, you know, the revolution strategy, I believe we have plans so that events won't take over when all this thing happen, because I so much believe it's going to happen. This revolution is going to be successful. We're going to kick these people out. I believe we have plans. It's the form of question, and also, you know, that we have plans and strategies of taking over if eventually, because we remember what happened the other time, even the 1983, after the June 12th, and we have this same bunch of criminals again taking over the event. That was the revolution. But mistakenly, we were not part of it. We didn't benefit anything from it.
Okay,
and we don't have the good ones.
I have to stop you real quick. I'm sorry, we're running out of time.
Yes, sir.
Put your information. You can reach Mr. Omoyele is on this platform. I believe he can get you linked to the Texas group. If you put your information, we'll reach out to you. Thank you. Let's go to Elder Ojo, please, if you're here. If you can unmute yourself and go on with your question real quick.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Elder Ojo from New York City. I respect to each and every one of you, beginning from the convener himself, Omoyele Sowore, for all your effort and sagacity regarding this journey. I know it's a long journey, but I don't have any question because I'm an insider, so I'm very, very aware of what is going on. But my only contribution will be, let us remember that this journey will take a long ride. Let us fasten our seat belts along with Omoyele Sowore. Whatever we can sacrifice personally, professionally, let us begin to put it on board. Rome is not built in one day. Whatever ideas that we have, positive, legislative-wise, political-wise, legally-wise, let us bring it on board so that this journey will become a fruition at the end of the day. It's going to be a long process. So let us don't be hurried, but let us calm down and be focused and be determined. And we will see the end of the journey at the end of the day. Thank you all.
Thank you. And Mr. Ashokbon will take your question real quick and have our convener respond, and we'll call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaba. This is Otumba Said Ashokbon. And I want to thank Mr. Omoyele Sowore for...
From where? From Atlanta.
From Atlanta. So the question that I do have is what Mrs. Rhoda Akpan, the issue she brought forward, I believe it was not answered or attended to. The issue of the post-election committee, what we later was wrote to the executive of TIB USA, and we were still waiting for their reply. And I can authoritatively tell all of us on this platform now that our house is not in order, unless we are deceiving ourselves. Our house is not in order, and we want it to be in order because we are going to take leadership of Nigeria as time goes on. Either we like it or not, the posterity will beckon on us as a Nigerian that we need to repair our country. But our house is not in order here in America, USATIB, and we have issue in which Akaba himself knows aware of it. And all of us on this platform, we are aware. I will want that problem solved for us to move forward. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you. Before we go to our comrade, I want to respond quickly to the last part of Ashogban's question. We had struggles, or should I say, we had struggles in the past, but currently a lot of things has been addressed. A lot of things has been resolved. Part of why we had this meeting is to ensure that everyone understands the structures that are being put in place. A lot of structures have been put in place. A lot of also the issues, as you can see, Dr. Chidi is here from Canada, people from UK is here. Our convener met with people from Australia, South Africa is on board. A lot of those things have been addressed, and we already have a way to move forward. So this forum is to just let everybody know that while all of that was going on, work was going behind the scene. I can factually report to this group today that there are a group of people who have dedicated at least minimum of 4 or 5 hours of their Saturdays in the past 13 to 14 months consistently working to try to make things work. So I do understand that concern. With regards to response to letter that was written, yes, we can address that. But with regards to progress, I want to assure everyone that there's been tremendous progress. And if everybody have the time, you can reach out to me after this meeting, or we can call a meeting and bring that up to date. But I'll bring our convener in because we're out of time, so he can respond and we can round up. Thank you.
Let me say something before our convener chip in. Mr. Convener, I want to ask for your permission to have you for more 10 minutes before we disperse this meeting. Can we have you for more 10 minutes, Mr. Convener? So that you can answer the whole question. 10 more minutes, sir. It's a request from General Assembly. Mr. Convener.
Yes, I said 10 minutes is not a big deal for me, you know.
Okay, thank you. So let me, in addendum to what Mr. Akaba said on the issue raised by Otumba Ashogban, I don't want us to confuse issues. There's no problem in the USA take it back. If we are referring to the problem at the global level, it's a different ballgame. But comes to USA take it back, we don't have any problem. Akaba is a member of the committee that I personally set up to oversee the US, to come up with what happened during the election, which we tag post-election committee. And I think we have 2 issues. The issues of the letter sent by the, I don't know, by the state committee to every member of the executives. That's a different issue from the post-election committee. When it comes to the post-election committee, our intention then was to see what happened why we lost like that and what we can do in a future election. And up to today, I can say it, I have not received the report of that committee for me to share it with the global executive. And for now, I don't think we have the global executive working as we want them to do. But like Akaba said, all things being equal, everything is working in the right direction now. Everything needed will be done, and most of the things you request for will be attended to. So that's my contribution on the question of Otumba Ashobon. Otumba Ashobon, you have access to me. Please, whenever you have any question, please get in touch with me. I will allay your fear or give you the right information. Thank you. Mr. Akaba, over to you and to
We
the
have the
convener.
convener. If the convener has the floor, we're out of time. We don't want to flog issues, so he can respond to the questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. At some point tonight, we reached 100, I think, persons attending this very important Zoom meeting conference to discuss the future of Nigeria. What is interesting is that I think the Nigerian Senate, where people are paid 14 million naira every month as allowances and emoluments, has never had a quorum of up to 50 people in one sitting. We are not getting paid, but you are here sacrificing your time to discuss the progress of the country. I want to thank all of you. I think we are now at 88. Some 12 persons have dropped off, but still a significant number. I'm wondering if there are even new questions, honestly, in these last few exchanges that I witnessed. I just keep hearing more questions about
I mean,
how
I
can we
have a
organize
question.
better.
I mean, I'm not a member. Sorry, this is Dapo.
Yes.
I'm not a member. But I mean, obviously, the goal is to work together with you guys to be able to move this whole platform forward. But
yes.
One of the things I'll say is this, Mr. Moyele, you already know. I think one of the problems we have as Nigerians is building trust. And I think one of the things I would like for the group or the TBI to do, I think there should be a central location where supplies information to everyone, whether in Australia or America or whatever. So people can get the information from one source. Because when people start calling people behind, let's talk, to me, sometimes it makes it feel like, okay, what are we trying? It's good to always be open so we can deal with the issues and move forward immediately.
Yes.
So that is my own concern. You know, so I just thought I'd share that. I don't know everything that is going on, but I think it may make sense for things to just be open. So everybody knows what is going on, even the floor member. So people can just keep moving like a soldier in the right direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dapo. Thank you seriously for that question. But I think I did address it because somebody said that I didn't address the issue of letter. I never got a letter. Our director in the USA just said he hasn't even received the report of this committee yet. So if there's anything I do a lot, it's transparency. I love to be transparent about activities that I'm involved in with anyone. That was why during the election, every day we finish, and before we go to bed, we ask for support and we tell people how much we raised. And even at the level of the party, as soon as we're done with the election, we were the only, I'm the only candidate, and TIB was the only movement during the election, including our party, that released election expenses out of about 79 presidential candidates. Others might have released, but they never made it public. We put it on our website, it's still there to today. We were challenged by when we were after the election, people were raised in our party to challenge us the claim that we did not transparently account for our party funding, which when we did, they disappeared. These same individuals, or some of them, claim now they're in charge of the party. It's been a year. There is no information about party funding from their side. But we are working to ensure that even the little money we have in the party in the last 1 year, we will account for it. That's the only way we can convince anybody. It's the only way I can convince myself that we're ready to govern the country. With regards to some of these issues that people are raising, I don't know of any organization in the world that do not have people who disagree. It's only how we resolve them and structures in place that the structure that I put in place to resolve them that matters. And I want to praise Oyele, I want to praise Chairman Dotun, our TIB director in the USA, and Mr. Val, and several others who have been working tirelessly, as they have revealed here, to ensure that we did not fall apart. And I also want to thank Dr. Chidi in Canada, who's done tremendous amount of work making sure that the communication in these groups are going on ceaselessly. So I'm happy to tell you that we are not doing very badly, but we can do better. And I'm available to ensure that TIB Global, TIB USA, TIB everywhere is doing better in terms of communication, in terms of interaction, in terms of clearing house for information. I think that's a very good point that Dapo raised. We should have a clearing house where people can go to and get information without having to use their nails to dig through the ground to get information. And I'm sure we will work on this so that there will be a central place where you can ask for and get information from over TIB activities or any activities related to what I do. With regards to me, you guys know, the only thing I don't do is to put on a camera when I go to sleep. Otherwise, when I go to court in Nigeria, I put it up. If you are not on social media, follow me on Twitter, please do. I put up information about where I am, what I do, and what I intend to do, even when people sometimes advise me against it, because I'm in the den of the lions, but we'll fight our way through. There's no question about it. We've done this before, and we'll do it again, and we'll triumph. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, and those of you who are not particularly gentle, yes, I want to thank you for coming in today. I'm looking forward to interacting with you more in the next few days, leading to October 1. I hope you guys will join our Zoom protest on September 26th, 2020, and subsequently you will occupy until we are free. Those embassies, consulates, and where you don't have consulates or embassies, you will also occupy maybe a United Nations building so that they will know that we're serious. And I make an appeal, this is an appeal to those of you who might have extra, to support people on ground in Nigeria who are going to protest on October 1 with T-shirts, face caps, berets, banners. If you know of any lawyers who is a family member who is conscious enough to help, we always need lawyers in case people get arrested to get to the police station as soon as possible. And also be part of those of us who are promoting these ideas on social media. Florence, I see you and I must commend you. I see a lot of your work on Facebook. If I go about commending everybody individually, we'll be here for another 3
Regarding the
hours.
lawyer, I have the support for that.
Fantastic. And I see my friend Aura Melly. I haven't seen your hand on social media. We need you. Angela is here on iPhone. Angela doing a lot of work for us. Mr. Tunde Olatunji, thank you so much. I don't talk to you a lot, but I see you do a lot of work. Our Queen Mom Williams Olatunji. And Google, I see you here. Zobotiano. This is a Good Friday morning. Kyle Ojo, I just saw you here. Ife Williams, guys from all over Kelly Coco, Aziz Ademola Bolanleo Yabayo, who's actually joining from London, Temitokwe Martins, Adeoye, Saeed, John Olowo, Temitokwe, Michael Solari, Philip Otoko, Abiodun Lawa, Bolaji, and several of you are here who did not join with your names. You joined with, a phone. Kolawole Sule, I see Maris, Joanna Joko. That's a very key name. I really love that name. Because I'm a person who loves Yoruba names. So I appreciate all of you. I wish I could just call on all of you one by one and thank you personally.
Appreciate you too, boss.
We appreciate you. God bless you. God protection.
We appreciate
Yes,
you.
amen. We
Thank you.
appreciate you a lot.
Rhoda, I see you there. Thank you guys a
We
lot.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
He's back. Hang in there.
Yes.
You.
You are the
When
best.
God bless you. We are taking Nigeria over.
Amen.
Nigeria.
Protection upon you in Jesus' name.
Feedback.
Thank you so much, Tunde.
I want to
Luta
continua.
Aluta
Victoria
continue.
Santa.
Continue.
Love, bro. In there, be safe from those lions.
Love you.
I can provide lawyer.
Everyone.
Bye, everyone. Be safe.
Hi, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Oh, justice.
One love.
Mr. Dava. You didn't answer my question. We talk soon, guys. Thank you.
God's protection upon SOWORE Omoyele forever.
Amen.
For protection, divine security.
Amen. Amen.
Take it back.
Baba, you didn't answer my question.
Kelly Coco, I can see you. The best.
I
don't
want
to go without you say, and then I'm like, oh my
Take
God,
it
I spend
back.
more time. I didn't call.
Thank you, my sister.
Baba, you didn't answer my question.
Anyone for us before we
You didn't
go?
answer my question,
Evolution now.
Chidi, Mr. Chidi, I can see you.
Us.
Hello, Dr. Chidi.
Everybody be protected in Jesus' name.
Miss Florence, I've already added you to the group.
I never had the opportunity to.
I added it to the group.
Now that we know each other. Hello, Dr. Chidi.
Love you. Hey, Jenny B, I see you. Jenny B, I see you.
Yeah, Jenny B is talking to you.
I see you, Jenny B.
All right. And, let's pray for
Angela, I see
everyone.
you.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to see you. My greetings to your family.
Thanks
more.
This is mine. This is correct.
I really want to say thank you. You shall be fulfilled. Revolution. Good night, everybody.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone. Revolution. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. God bless you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye, Coco. Good night.
Bye.
All right. Inka, brother is here. She wants to say something. Femi, would you like to say anything?
Dr. Chidi.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I watch your show often, and I'm really impressed with what you're doing. Where are you based in Canada, please?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay. That's
not
where.
Toronto. Sorry, it's Toronto.
Oh, okay. Our headquarters is in Toronto, SIM.
Okay.
So, yeah. Thank you so much for what you do. God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We did not even end the meeting. Everybody has come.
This is after meeting show.
The uncle have tried though.
Meeting
Thank
after
you very
meeting.
much, Daba. I have
Meeting
tried.
after meeting.
Meeting after meeting.
You tried.
Thank you so much.
After party.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to connect, to rapport.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
For coming to USA TIB, everybody.
Oga,
We are not TIBO, but we just joined.
Dr. Chidi.
You are welcome.
Yes, you abandon your brother here.
No. It's fine. I swear to God. No. We have to talk.
Me in Toronto.
Don't worry. I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you this afternoon. I promise.
Okay.
Don't worry. You're going to call from me. No. You're going to call. No. You're going to call.
No problem.
They're going to call this afternoon. They're going to call. All right. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, you.
Bye, everybody. All right, but maybe we'll get a guy here. Yeah.
It was
Man, I can see that. Yeah, anytime. We're right. We're on the corner of 45th.
Me, I'm leaving now.
We just walk right here.
So, Larry, is this
Okay.
How you feeling?
I see
Oh, yeah.
from South Africa.
You keep dropping the ball. I mean, you have a good spirit of listening. And that's what you have to focus on. I know you're an actor too, you know. You have to learn lines and stuff. You know, I know you told you, I work in theater on Broadway, yeah. So you get home and Google the so-called fella. FULA. I was chief consultant, you know. So, all right. Everybody take care. You know, so I see that.
All right, good night, everybody. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Endeavor in your child, and it's very good. You have time, nobody can do it. But also you're strong. When you get your confidence in the right place, you can man anybody. Nobody can, even though he might have a little more experience, but he can like run you over. You kind of,
And also, maybe just to be specific,
back him in.
just
You know what I mean? I'm not saying clear yet, but you know, that means you have enough practice to hold everybody down.
People rather than
So, know that that's on your side. Then now you're calm, so you're able to calculate and then, you know, and drop yourself. So keep doing what you're doing. You do very well. The woman just said that she saw you, you do very well.
And people would think that's not going to break the bank, and
we get out a couple times next week.
as you know, my
Let me know. But I told him, I told him we have an understanding.
Definitely.
And that's why I
So
told you,
I'll send you
humble yourself, sit down and watch what he's doing so you can see his mistakes and then you can use that to correct yourself. You're doing 2 in 1. Yeah, but sometimes our ego is
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, I said thank you.
And I want the girls to hear this.
So now you can. All right.
Well, okay.